So they're not strong men, but you're seeing them having success, and you're curious as to you're trying to figure out where that success is coming from, and maybe the first thing you're digging into is it my personality, and is that causing me to maybe not get as many deals across the table?
Yeah, my focus always goes, it has to be, pretty much me, because that's kind of how I tend to think in responsibility. And what I'm trying to do, it's like I'm the common factor here wherever I go.
Yeah, that's true. You got to look within, right, before you can change the outside world, and the outside world's inherently much harder to change than the inside world. Okay, so why do you think you're too empathetic? Like, what's the reasoning behind that?
Um, let's see. Now, I guess my mind goes, why do I think that I'm that, or why did my personality develop to become that type of person? Um,
Well, let's look for empirical evidence. Like, what leads you to say, did you lose a deal or something
uh,
because you were too empathetic? Like, let's look for facts.
okay, so last week, I was meeting with an agent and an investor. Agent sitting across from me. We're talking about how maybe they can work with us, because obviously we can't convert all the cash sales, so maybe they could do some retail with us. And they mentioned that they can convert a certain percentage over to retail. And I said, wow, if we can convert, over 50% of people, that's a lot of people we could help. And the sentiment was, oh, wow, yeah, we could help people, but like, think about the money we could make. And there was kind of an eruption, a little bit of laughter at the table, um, which, so that's a little bit of an example. That's a little bit of an example there.
Okay.
And I could give maybe one more, and it's helpful because it's I'm analyzing as I give the story of like whatever mentality I have, or victim mentality that's in there holding back. Basically, I went to another meetup, a different one, last week, and I was talking about a deal that I was working on, and I was having a little trouble on it, so I was talking to an agent slash investor about it, and the other guys came. As soon as the other guys came over, he introduced me, saying, "Oh, this is David. He's working on a deal, but he didn't work on it with us, and now it's not working out." Ah, like, and everyone was like, "Ah," which I'm cool. Like, I'm on board with stuff like that. I can enjoy. Um, but yeah, those are a couple examples there, and I'll give one more example on,
Okay.
because it really got to me on Saturday, Friday. It was one of my two appointments for the week, and they texted me saying they were going to cancel, and I texted back saying, "Oh, we just want to get in and out." And they were like, "Okay, like if it's going to be 15 minutes, no problem." And I should have just left it there. And I edited, said, "Yes, yeah, no problem. As long as we're gonna just take some pictures and we'll be in and out." And she's like, "You know what? Actually, it's a mess." And like, now she ghosted me. So um, I didn't need to add that extra thing to like reassure or like care. Not care is not the right word, but if that's kind of the theme maybe that I'm sharing here, at least to explain whatever story is going on in my mentality.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for sharing those three stories. So, would you be okay if we started with the last one first?
Sure.
So, I don't think there's anything wrong with what you did, but I think you also understand that, like, sometimes the less you say, the more you make in those situations because people can be flaky.
Right.
And that is where a follow up system, like a standard operating procedure, can be really helpful. Where, you said the thing and maybe you don't have a standard operating procedure in place for that. So you went further than a procedure could or should,
Right.
and you added some stuff. So maybe that's something that can be worked on in the future is just an SOP for cancellations, like trying to if they're like, hey, I want to cancel, okay, what's the SOP? What's the standard operating procedure when somebody says, I want to cancel? Well, probably, hey, it's just going to take 15 minutes. Would you object to that? No. Great. We'll see you at this time. Done. That's the SOP.
Yeah,
Try to
yeah,
overcome the objection, get a confirmation, go do it. Right. Not a big deal. I think what you're doing is fine. Like lessons are great. And lessons always
I
come from
know.
failures. That's
Yes,
just what it is. And it's
yes,
what can we do with these failures that actually make sense? So nothing huge there. We're working on that with you here and building out some follow up systems, and maybe you can write this down on Miro. Like, what is your um, cancellation follow up procedure? I'm just going to write that down in some to dos. So, cancellation follow up procedure. So, SOP, can you remember what SOP stands for?
standard operating procedure.
Okay, cool. All right, and maybe it's automated, or maybe it's just overcoming the objection. That's what it is, right? There's some sort of objection there, and her objection probably was my house is a mess. And there's the other idea that maybe she's not really motivated, right?
Yeah,
So it could be a little bit of both. And from this lesson, we understand that okay, people's houses are messy and they can be ashamed of that. And when they hear the word pictures, they freak out and
yes,
they can't do it.
yes,
So don't mention pictures.
yes, yes. I get 100%, and you're right by having the standard procedure because it's things that I already know. I mean, I was a videographer for 15 years, so I know how to film people and not film them and be at weddings, and it's so funny that I guess sometimes those lessons hit you even more. You're like, I know so in depth that what not to do, and I did it.
Yeah, it's okay. Some
Yeah,
things
it's okay.
we're just people, right? Even if we have
We're just
standard
people.
operating procedures, we're just people. Okay.
Appreciate you, man.
We have like 3 more minutes for this topic, and I think we can
Okay.
cover both of these other examples. The one with the realtor and the eruption about money, and then the meetup and the agents kind of busting your chops. So, actually, let's tackle this separately, right? So let's tackle the meetup situation. So you're kind of revealing your issues, and they're like, "Oh, we're the best. You can't do anything without us," right? Kind of the gist of what happened there.
Yeah, I like how you put
How
that.
can you? What could you do to turn their? I think the right word is brevity, but I could be wrong.
Sure.
Into something helpful, and you know, make turn them from like ego into like, well, I hear your ego, but what the hell are you actually going to do to help me? What kind of questioning, what line of questioning can you come up with to help you through that situation? Because it's going to happen, right? That's just
Right.
the nature of meetups and people. They're super ego driven.
100%.
So, what do you think a response to that could be? Like, your martial art, right? Like, you practice that. So, what is your how do you recoil from that? How do you protect yourself? Or, what is the next move for that situation?
So I'll tell you kind of a little bit about what happened. But I'm curious. I wonder what my exact words were, but I'll tell you what basically transpired. I pretty much laughed along with them, reassured them that, oh, I'm the deal's getting done. Like we're closing the deal. When they were like, hey, because it's like kind of what you said, that mentality of, hey, that's why you got to work with us because your deal's not falling through. I told them that's going to happen, and then I asked about an attorney, and then he actually recommended his attorney, who actually had a conversation with yesterday after he recommended him. So I guess it turned out pretty well, all in all, because that's kind of what I did. But um, I'm not sure what exactly like the words or the standard of what happened, like how to say, but that's kind of what happened.
Okay, so there was a positive outcome, but it still left you feeling like, ugh, I hate when people say that to me.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't I guess my original thought was when I go to these meetups or be careful about, no, careful is the word. It's like share your wins and challenges with certain people, or I don't know, certain people, that's too broad because you don't know who you're gonna meet. But I guess sharing the
Yeah.
wins is a little bit better than sharing the challenges. But I don't know if that's, that's gonna cut off. If I make that an official procedure, that can lose opportunity.
Can I challenge that?
Please do.
In your life, and let's just come back to martial arts, right? I've never taken a martial arts class in my life. Maybe once when I was a kid. I don't think so though. But when would you learn the most? When you were when you were struggling with something, or when something was easy?
Right, when I'm struggling, I have to learn.
Correct. So when do you think you actually build the most meaningful relationships? When you're only sharing the the amazing things that you've done,
Exactly. Yes, yes.
or the challenges?
Right. Yeah. And I agree. When we share the challenges, I suppose, and that's what part I get the vulnerability. I'm looking for that, and not everybody's going to jump on, and that's all right.
Well, I think it is, and people may see that as you being weak or invulnerable, maybe like those folks did with their comment. And I think you did great of like, ha ha ha, that's awesome. But I would just calmly say few things if I was you. I would want to know like, well, how do you know you can solve the problem? I haven't even told you what the whole circumstance were. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, right? I don't know.
Right. No, you're
But I
correct.
would challenge. I would challenge them. It's like, what would you do in this situation? I haven't even explained the whole thing to you, and it's kind of confrontational, but it's also like, hey, listen, you think you're awesome, but you don't even know everything about what I'm talking with you about. So why are you just coming over here and bragging to my face with your friends? Are you actually trying to help me, or are you just being a dick?
You know what his solution was? His solution was for him to call the seller and bid higher of a number so that the seller will come running back to me and sign.
Well, yeah, I mean that is a tactic, sure, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work. That's just
Yeah.
kind of that's an interesting tactic, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know. When people do that to me, that's like a red flag. Just in general, they're like, "Oh, you have to use me. I can always get everything done." They're not listening to you. They don't care about you. They're just stroking their ego. That's all that is. So I don't know. Uh, we're kind of
I
over,
appreciate.
but I want to cover the other one if you're cool with that as well.
Sure. Yeah, thank you,
So
man. It's helpful.
yeah, you were talking about converting some leads to retail that wouldn't work as wholesale, and the group was it a group of people, like a few people you were chatting with,
Three, yeah, three other people.
and they all started joking about money. And what was your reaction to that? Like, how did you take that?
Uh, I I didn't really laugh, and my reaction was like, "That's exactly what I just said." I guess like that's what I just said. And I
Yeah,
guess I was annoyed, honestly, because it assumed that it's like I'm so green, or I'm so like utopic thinking that like that's what my conversation is, and like they're not understanding that that's literally how we make money though, by helping people. So that's literally what I just said. But
yeah,
that was my sentiment of that.
got it. So you were like, oh man, we can help more people, and they were like, oh man, screw helping people. I want to make more money. That's kind of the gist of it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, I'm always trying to, in retro, like, I want to be a better person in general. And sometimes, we can't. do these things in practice, but I think it's important to practice them so that when they come up, we may respond differently to these type of situations. And for me personally, if I was in that situation, and I don't know much about your backstory, but you just shared about some family members losing some assets during some point in time, and
Sure.
I'm in the same boat. My parents lost their house, like the house I grew up in, and that sucked. That was like a horrible experience. So for me, hearing someone laugh about the money when you're actually trying to help someone out of pain, that would irk me pretty deeply. And I think I would just wait until the laughing's over and calmly just say, listen, I understand that I understand how everybody makes money here, but when I'm helping people, their situations are not funny. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't make jokes and about the money we get from helping these people because they're in really tough situations.
They
And I
are.
don't think it's appropriate to be laughing about it. And if they're like, "Oh, ha ha ha, you're too this or too that," it's like, well, I don't think it's going to make sense for us to work together. You just walk out,
100%. 100%, brother.
or they're going to be like, "Oh shit, like my bad, I was just a douchebag right there."
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I mean, I don't know if like it's kind of confrontational, but it's also taking a deep breath, realizing who you are, and you're an empathetic person, and be that person because that is how you connect with people, and the world needs more folks like that. So be true to who you are and stand up for that.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that because it makes me realize it's like that's just a bad lead, or that's like another lead that doesn't need to go anywhere, you know?
Yeah, you don't have to do business with everybody you meet.
100%.
Tons of nice people out there. All right, cool. We got all the mushy stuff out of the way, right?
Thank you, bro.
Sweet. Well, I appreciate that. That was fun. I'm glad that you let me help you with that. It was very helpful for me as well to
Thank you,
go
man.
through that stuff because it's that heady stuff is tough when you're in a situation and seeing what's happening as it unfolds. It can be difficult to respond to that in a way that makes you aligns with who you are.
Yeah, 100%, man. Thank you.
All right, cool. So moving on to CRM stuff. Is that cool?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
I bet you didn't know this was going to happen today. This wasn't part of the Chaos Buster challenge.
This is great, man. This is great. This is because it was inside me, bro. So well played. I think is the right move.
Awesome. Nobody likes to let stuff sit, especially me. All right. So, what is it that you were? What's the one domino we can push over here in the next 25 minutes to help you in your journey here of converting from the CRMs to this one? And where can we start?
So basically, maybe I can get help with an understanding of using go high level with follow up. Um, what it's capable of versus what I'm using it for. Because I do use ready mode as the dialer, and that was kind of my thought. But maybe I can take a little bit of a step back because see, even the stuff that I have here, like the pipelines that I created,
Mhm.
um, some of it's a version of like maybe me working in Podio for a year and a half and they're like, okay, how do I like click things and make them go to a place to where I'm ready to click them again? And that's kind of part of like listen to call today, and then put it somewhere to make sure I call it back. But a lot of stuff, I guess you can do that with tasks here. So
Mhm.
not to get too confusing, but I think that's kind of what I mean. I'm trying to share why I'm like making decisions based on that because it's like I just that's why I had things in the pipeline because it's here. I want to make sure it's there, but maybe I'm doing a bunch of things that are really just need to be like four things. Um, and I'll just digress there for a second to not get too confusing, but I don't know if that made sense at all.
No. So this is kind of what the process that you're already using, right? This is comfortable for you. Is that correct?
Yes, it's a little bit adjusted. I did call back today versus this week and moved the appointment set like around because I'm thinking I want to have appointments. Like if I'm just using this daily as my dashboard or the pipeline, I want to see all my appointments right there to make sure I don't miss any and I know. But like I said, I might be using it in my own brain, my own way when like that's not what a pipeline is for. But I'm very visual with like just things I need in front of me, kind of thing. So that's why I wanted to share that.
Okay. Yeah, pipelines are, I think, one of the most difficult ideas to grasp, and I think they're different for everyone. And I'm always changing, I'm always looking at mine like, I don't actually need this. This can be done a different way,
Yeah.
and because I want to make my pipelines really simple, so it's hard, right? So let's use a hypothetical little situation here. So you've got a lead that comes in, right? So like a lead, let's just call this like a lead that comes in from ready mode.
Cool.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And your the VA will either, well, the story should be that they will have an appointment booked with you in your calendar. Is that correct?
That would that's the plan, yeah.
Okay. So from ready mode, the only time it'll get to you is if there's an appointment booked.
Yes. So either yes, appointment meeting um going right to the house or a callback right before. But either way, I pretty much want to honestly listen to the call beforehand. Um
Okay.
yeah, but we and this is part of the SOP thing, which is um we've noticed sometimes confirming we lose appointments. So now we've kind of been confirming like literally on our way, and taking our chances that way, but
Mhm.
not to go too much into that.
No. Okay, so let's just start like probably in the lead comes from ready mode, appointment set, and listen to phone call. That seems to be the
Yes, yes.
first tests that have to happen. So lead comes in to ready mode, or actually lead comes out of ready mode. It's either a phone or a so it's either a phone call or in person.
Yes. And you have something similar over here that we kind of did with the calendar in person, sort of thing.
Yep. Okay. Cool. So I think that's one of the. Do we have your calendar set up yet?
I don't think so. I get a little confused with my calendar
All right. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen here.
because I have a couple
Can you see my
emails.
screen?
Yes.
All right. So let's just check out integrations. Integrations. Where is it?
All the way at the top.
There it is. Integration.
Integration.
Okay. So this is the Gmail account. We've already got two
Yes.
of them here. Oh, we got three of them.
Okay, yeah. And there's technically one more too.
So these are what's this email account for?
Um, so that's my main I use that for my CRM, but that's like my main one of my main business emails.
Okay. What's this one for?
This one is also real estate email that I used. I still use it. Um, the ClearPath is a little bit newer when I started like building this stuff, and more focusing just ClearPath, but I do use that one a good amount for real estate too.
And this one.
That's my personal one. The only reason it's really there is because I guess I wasn't sure what's when I set stuff on my calendar, I don't know how to like connect it or what it's connected to. Um, so
Got it.
yeah.
So you're using three Gmail calendars. Can you consolidate? Like you probably, this is your personal email account, right? But
Yeah,
can
I'm
you
happy.
consolidate these
Yeah, I'm
two?
happy to consolidate everything. I just honestly like when I'm on my phone, like I never it's a little embarrassing, but it's like I've never been able to understand like exactly like how to get everything on my phone and match. And now not to make it more complicated, but I work with a company um that I have another calendar with them too.
Got it. Okay. So you need to merge all of your calendars into one calendar on your cell phone, basically, or on
Yes,
your
that's
computer.
good. Yeah, because I kind of live off of it. Like I have just everything I put in here, or else I get lost.
So I am in the same boat as you, right? So I have a couple of calendars. You know, this is my personal calendar for my personal account. Here's my business one, and it'll load eventually. But what I'm getting at here is the calendars. So, you know, here, this is, let's see if it'll show. This is a separate calendar, and this is a separate calendar, right? So these are my two calendars that I could see at the same time. So this is a creative underwriter calendar, I believe. This is my Amplify REI calendar. So these are two business accounts on one calendar because this is my REI Amplify account. So you can actually merge them so they all show up in one place, which is
Awesome.
really helpful.
Yes.
So I'll send you a video. I'll just YouTube it, but I'll send it to you on how to merge calendars basically.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that would be honestly a huge like help in the chain right there of things.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so we'll merge that. So that is going to be one thing that we're going to do, or you're going to do. So we'll put a task up here. Um, add a new task.
Oh, and I needed some help. I wasn't sure if I was doing it wrong, but would having the chat come up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta look at that real quick. Let's see, David. Then speak. Wait. When you press this button, you're having difficulties getting the chat to come up.
Oh, dang, it's right there. I don't.
Well, if I'm in my account on yours,
Oh,
so it may show differently, and depending on when you looked last, it may not have been on there because I went through and redid some things. But
oh, okay.
you
It's
press the
nice.
chat button and that. So
Okay,
check
got
it
it.
out because I
It's
believe
great.
I went through all that and changed it yesterday to make sure that everybody had it that needed it.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Yep, I see it.
Cool. Yeah, then you just hit chat with an agent. You're gonna if you use it, it's gonna be awesome. Like just ask questions, and if they don't understand your question, just ask it in another way and send them a Loom video. Like if they don't understand it or they don't give you the right answers because you didn't clarify your question better, like good enough. So I would say that is something for that. Okay, so you're going to merge all your calendars on Gmail. I will go back through and when I get that email and I will edit the task and I'll put, or when I get that YouTube video, I'll put the YouTube video in here. Okay,
Okay.
so then you'll understand how to merge your calendars on Gmail. But we are going to go into calendars and we're kind of running out a little bit of a time crunch here. But that's okay. So, all right, no calendars. So we're always going to start with a group. It's just a good way to do it. And we're just going to say Lamorte capital, right? Lamorte,
Yes.
Lamorte, Lamorte capital. And we'll just add this to the group name. This doesn't matter so much. All right. So you have a group now, and now we can put calendars inside the group.
Okay.
And we're going to create a round robin. It just allows you to do the most amount of things, and you can add other people to it eventually if you're
Okay.
adding staff members or things of that nature.
Great.
But we're just going to do that. So when you typically talk with somebody, how about this? I'm not going to do this for you. You're going to do it.
Sure.
You're going to. Can you share your screen with me?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't want to do this for you. I want you.
No, I hear you. Thank you. I think am I still screen sharing? It
No,
says
I stopped it. All right, here we go. I'll click it out. Maybe you are. See, I'm confused with this.
I see a button to stop sharing.
Yeah, hit
I can
stop
stop
share.
and yeah, I'll stop and then do it again.
Again. I still am trying to understand Google Meet. There's things I don't get.
Hear that?
All right, cool.
Is this working for? Oh.
Um, open it up again. Open up that chat. Open up that live chat again. Hit click no or hit yes. Yes. There
Oh.
it is. Chat with an agent. See where it says chat with an agent?
Okay.
That's where you'll chat with an agent. So it'll connect with a live agent.
Okay.
I don't know what it's doing
Cool.
right now. I can't really see what's happening, but
It's just blank. I
yeah,
didn't write any.
usually it says at the top like waiting on an agent. So I don't really know what's happening.
It might be waiting for me to click this button, start chat with agent.
Yeah, do it. See what happens.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Wait.
Cool. Now, if you just want to end it, just hit end chat at the top right. And I always make sure I answer these because it really gives good feedback to our team to make sure that we're doing okay. And if we're not doing okay, we know how to be better. So if
Okay.
they ever suck, please let us know. All
Awesome.
right, so calendars. Let me refresh my screen. All right, so you're gonna go and go back into calendars. I did the group for you. So hit new calendar, round robin. Yep. All right. So what do you want this calendar to be called? Understanding that we're going to make two separate calendars for you. One's going to be an in-person, and the other one's going to either be a Zoom call or a phone call. So pick
Yes.
whatever one there is.
Poison.
Cool. I would put
Calendar.
just your business name after that, like dash. Yeah, perfect. Great. All right. So copy that whole calendar name. Just Control C, Control All. Just copy that whole thing. Yep. Now in the custom URL, paste it.
Oh. I'm trying to.
There we go. All right. So now you have to take out all spaces and
Yeah.
replace them, or you could just make it shorter somehow. Just make it
Walk through.
shorter. Yeah.
I didn't get that.
You can put a dash in between there.
The dash. Oh, right here. Walk through.
Yeah. Yep, and now take that space out. Good. Okay, now we also forgot to do team members, so go up to the team member section and select yourself. Great, done. All right, how long are these walkthroughs typically?
About an hour, really.
Great, I would add an hour. All right, yep. So here's an interesting thing to think about. This booking availability. Consider this the hours that your business is open. So if this specific calendar was a storefront with a front door, what hours would customers be able to walk through, right? This isn't necessarily your availability, your personal availability. You may be, because you're an employee, right? You're a staff member of this calendar. You're a team member, as it says up there. You can have different hours than this calendar does. So I personally like to keep my calendars open from morning to night, whatever that time frame is for you. So if it's 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., that's great. Does it make sense? I'm trying to I'll show you where the difference is and how to
Sure.
set that. I just want
That
to
makes
let you know
sense.
there's a difference. Okay, cool. All right. Scroll, hit confirm. Is there any more scroll down? Nope. That's it. Great. That's it. Hit close. All right. Go into the three dots all the way at action drop down. Hit edit. Okay. So you can add a calendar logo here, add a group description. You can scroll down further. Contact name. So meeting invite title here. Up one more. Yep. So
Right.
this is going to dynamically pull data from whoever books the appointment, and it's going to add their name into the appointment title. I personally also like to add my name in there. So like you would add your name. So add dash, like do space, add a space before that. Otherwise it's weird. Yep, space, dash, space. Your name,
Full name or
full name. Space, dash, space. Business name. So now, anytime this appointment is booked, if John Smith is the person you're meeting, it's going to say on their calendar and your calendar, and in the emails, it's going to say John Smith dash David Lamorte dash Lamorte Capital, so that everybody has a clear understanding of who it is and what it is. You could also put walkthrough on there as well if you wanted. Space walkthrough. Yep.
yeah, that looks good.
Maybe capitalize those just for, I don't know.
More official.
Yeah, capitalization is official. Okay, so this will be, if we go down to where it says your name, David Lamorte, and then medium priority and Zoom next to it. So this is your walkthrough. So you're going to actually do the full address. That's cool. They added that. I haven't seen that. So add that. Cool. So this actually isn't going to be the location full address. We need to pull whatever this dynamic code is for the contact's full address. So duplicate this tab. Well, first of all, press save. Save this on top right. Yep.
I'm hitting Apple S like that does anything.
All right, cool. So it's saved. It just jumped, so that's okay. It doesn't matter here. Duplicate this tab. You know how to do that? Actually, I don't even
No.
know if I can do it in Apple. Can you right click on the tab uh, on the top where it says amplify? Yeah, right click that or double click it
Yeah.
or something.
There you go. I learn
I don't know
something every
how
day.
I don't know how Apple's work. So, and then go back to the other tab while this one's loading. Yep. All right. Now use go to the go back section all the way at the far left. Yep. All right. Now all the way down the bottom, the settings, the custom fields down the bottom, down low, up. Yep. So this is where we are going to be able to make custom fields. We're not going to do that right now, but we're pulling the unique keys for the dynamic fields so that
Right.
when somebody enters information, it'll dynamically fill that. So, yep, contact address. Got it. Hit copy. Now open up the other tab that you duplicated. Yep, go back into this, edit it, scroll to the bottom, full address, delete that, contact address. Cool. So now in the email that it sends out and the appointment confirmation and anything else, it's going to say the contact's address. That's where you're going to meet. Top right, click save. Cool. Now go back to meeting details on the left hand side again. It's kind of annoying. Now in the over to the right. Nope.
Oh,
Over to the right.
oh my
Up,
bad.
up, up.
Over here.
There you go. Yeah, every time you press save, it jumps down a screen, which is kind of annoying, but I'd rather press save a jillion times than lose my place. So you can change the event color down at the bottom. That is what color the event will show up on your calendar. So if you like the color, change it. If not, don't change it.
Yeah, made it a little bit brighter.
Yeah, I just make sure that my each calendar has a different color, so I can at a quick glance be like, oh, that's this meeting because it's this color. All right, now to the availability. All right, scroll up. Now this is go all the way to the top. Keep scrolling. Yep. Okay, so this is still the calendar's availability. So this is the business's availability. Now this meeting interval is what how often the start of a meeting can occur. So at a 30-minute meeting interval, for example, that would mean when somebody goes to your booking calendar, they would see an appointment start time at 12 o'clock, appointment start time at 12:30, an appointment start time at 1 o'clock. The duration is going to be for an hour, as we've set here, but it's just saying every 30 minutes is when an appointment could be booked. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And then I guess the other part, the more concern was, I guess, the buffer time, which is before and after. As I guess when you set one, it cancels out the other appointments around it to a certain extent.
Correct. Correct. So I'd like to change the meeting interval, right? Because what you're doing is you're saying you're giving people more options to book,
Yeah, so many options.
right? Because in an 8-hour day, you are going to only have 16 slots open. Where if you do a 10 or 15-minute interval, you're going to actually have a bunch of slots, right? They can still only book at hour intervals, but if somebody gets off work at 5:30 and they don't want to wait until 6 o'clock to have the next meeting with you, they could get off work at 5:30 and they could book the appointment at 5:40.
Right.
That they can use that extra 20 minutes between 5:40 and 6 o'clock to continue the meeting.
Right.
So I
Right.
like changing it to 10-minute intervals. That's just me. I think it looks nicer. Then meeting duration, minimum scheduling notice. So how many days or hours in advance do you want someone to be able to book this appointment?
I guess up to 2 weeks. I know that's a good question. I guess two
So
weeks.
this is the minimum. Sorry, the minimum. So do you want somebody to be able to book right now?
Oh
Do
yeah.
you want
Okay.
them
Yes. Minimum.
an
Right.
hour,
So
an hour out, or a day out?
yeah. Should be really hours. Maybe thinking 3 or 4.
Remember, you're gonna have to drop everything and drive to someone's house.
Yeah.
So that could really mess up your day if you
10.
do it same day.
So maybe 24. Let's see. Because I'm thinking it's okay if they like if they can book the night before for the morning. Um,
Then
so
do
I
eight
guess
hours.
yeah, I say 8 hours, right?
Yeah, 8 or maybe because 8 to 8 a.m. Do 12 hours actually because
Yeah, I was
your
thinking.
day, yeah, your day
Yeah.
is 8 hours. Your day is 12 hours. So you want to push them for that day always. So this will be how many days in advance do you want them to be able to book
I'm thinking 2 weeks. I really like to do a week. Um, I guess two
out?
weeks max.
No,
Unless,
I say 7 to 10 days, man. You don't want because the longer you push it out, the less chance it is that they're actually
yeah,
going to make
that's
it.
what I'm thinking. 10 days max.
I agree with you completely. Maximum bookings per day, don't need that. Maximum bookings per slot, that's fine at one. Buffer time. So this is going to be the interesting one because this is your driving calendar. So you really want to space these things out so that your VAs aren't going back to back on you and screwing
Yeah.
you over. Um, so what's your drive radius in hours? Like do you only drive an hour away or do you drive 6 hours away?
Probably about usually 45 minutes is the most. Ish 45 minutes, an hour
Okay.
maybe if it's once in a while if it's traffic, but pretty much within 30 to 40 minutes everything's pretty much. Yeah.
So here's an interesting idea, right? Because with these, you don't like, do you want more than one of these per day? Because if your VA is booking two of these per day, and if you're at the center of your radius and you have to travel an hour east of your center point, and then they book another one an hour, with an hour buffer, that means it's going to be an hour back to the center and then an hour to the other side of your radius. So that's actually a 2 hour buffer that you would need to get there. So you could change the bookings to only one per day, which would mean they're only allowed to book one driving event for you per day, which may be a good solution at first. So you don't end up running into some weird situation where you're like, oh my gosh, I got to rush out of this appointment because I got to drive 2 hours to this other appointment and I've only got an hour buffer time. And now I've got to call this person and tell them I'm going to be an hour late. And that's going to be annoying because nobody wants to be an hour late to anything.
Right. So for For me, maybe we could do a maximum bookings per day, but honestly, if we can get more than one appointment a day, we've done it before. That would be, sometimes it's a blessing. But it's rare that we've ever had like more than two. I don't know if three would be too many. I don't want to discourage appointments, but maybe we could put two.
Yeah, you could do 2 bookings per day. Yeah, just make sure your buffer time is legit.
Yeah, I need at least an hour. So there's pre and post. So I pretty much need an hour on each side. That's kind of how, if that makes sense. If that's what I'm thinking, like if they set an appointment for two, but I'm
Your
not sure if
appointment
I'm.
will go. If they set it at 2, your appointment will go to 3. So then you would need an hour or maybe an hour and a half to get to the next meeting max.
Yeah, yeah,
So you need a buffer time of maybe 2 hours just to play it safe, right?
yeah.
Because it's always better to call someone and be like, "Hey, I'm early," than to be like, "Hey, I'm going to be 45 minutes late." Nobody wants to hear
No,
that.
100%. Yeah,
And then, so post buffer time. So 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and then I don't think you need pre buffer time. I think you only need the post buffer time, right? So if you have it, your first meeting is at 2 o'clock. It's going to go to 3 o'clock, and then you'll have a 2 hour buffer time, 5, and then your meeting will be 5 to 6, and then you'll have another post meeting buffer time of 2 hours on that. So I don't think you need a pre.
so pre, we just need the post.
Yeah, just one. So 2 per day, 1 per slot, 2 hours buffer time. All right, hit save. Top right. Cool. All right, scroll to the top here. All right, so consent, pre-populate. No, don't pre-populate. Add guests. Check that box. Yep. So this way, if John Smith wants to add his wife into this calendar, he can, so
Okay,
that she also gets all these notifications as well.
right. Awesome.
Scroll. Is there any more left? Thank you for your appointment. We will contact you. Please call our office if you have any questions. You could change this message if you want. I don't necessarily like that one because it's not an appointment request. This is a straight
Yeah,
up booking.
yeah. Thank you for your right
Appointment.
booking.
Yeah. I'm not going to confirm them. They'll get a bunch of texts and they'll get text emails, but that's about that.
Um, should I just should I take it out and then
Yeah, I would just take this all out for now.
the whole thing, or
Thank you for booking your appointment. Keep that. Please call our office at contact method. I'm not sure what that one's actually connected to, so we'd
yeah?
have to look at that. And we're over our time, so I would
Okay,
just
yeah,
delete that whole thing right now because we're going to. We'll no,
we'll work with.
not all of it. Not all of it. The first sentence. Yep, there you go. Keep the first sentence. Yeah. Sorry. Because we'll make some follow up sequences for this. So hit save. Got it. Who should receive this notification? Contact guest, and that's it. Now allow Google Outlook Calendar to send invitation and update emails, and that's it. Save that. All right, scroll all the way to the bottom of this one. All right, so see down at the bottom it says allow staff selection during booking.
Yes.
You don't need this. You don't need this right now. You may never need it. But if for some reason that you hired someone else to go on these appointments with you, or not with you, but as somebody to go on appointments, period, other than yourself, and your VAs were still booking the appointments on these calendars, you could allow the VAs to select different people to have these appointments, or it can just be a round robin, which it already is because that's the type of calendar we selected. So
Sure.
whoever has the next availability gets up to the bat. That's just is what it is. So
Okay, great.
that is available. You don't. Okay, cool. So one last time.
I'm sorry. I just got a text with my sister saying she's getting married, so I don't know what the frick.
Oh shit. Boom. There. Okay, cool. So your job next is to, I'm going to go and create a task here because you're going to need to create another calendar now that you know how to create one. And I'm going to add a task. So you're going to create a go high level calendar for phone calls or Zoom, whatever you choose. I don't know how you prefer to talk to people the first time, but that's what I would. You're going to do that next. So let's say this today. Today's Tuesday. All right, I created another task for you. So you have two tasks for next week. Merge all calendars, which I have to update you with on the video for that, and then you'll create a go high level calendar. Let's just say high level calendar for Zoom. And if you're still on the screen, right? So where it says action drop down to the bottom, down the right, down right there. Yep. Click that. You'll just hit duplicate, and then you'll go through and change the location on it, and you'll change the name,
I
and you'll
see.
change everything else, right? So now
Okay.
most of it's already set up for you. You just have to go through and make it. So this is your phone call or your Zoom meeting or your discovery call, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, yeah. I like it.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right. So let
I
me
can do
pull
all
up my calendar here while you're doing that. Uh, sidetracked. Phones are so easy to get sidetracked on. I mean, that's so many notifications. All right, what day next week?
Same. Let's see, Tuesday. This has been working pretty well.
Okay.
Maybe my camera will even work.
Maybe. Maybe. All right. So book an appointment, and then 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So Chaos Buster. Also, whoops. Next week, 10 a.m. to 11. So the 26th, 10 a.m. to 11. 26th, 10 a.m. Chaos Buster done. Booked. Now you'll start to see when these automated messages and emails come through, you'll start to understand, oh, this is just coming from those calendars that we just made. now you can see what's happening. Cool. All right, man. You've got some tasks. I've got something I'm going to do for you in the next 15-20 minutes. I'll update your second task for you, and then if you have any questions, hit me up.
Okay, brother. Thanks so much. This is a great session. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Later.
Later. Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Bro. What the fuck? What?
Obviously, we're gonna get married, like not just because, but Sean's going to the army, and he's gonna go to boot camp soon. And then after that, I'm gonna be going with him to wherever station. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Congratulations. Bro, you're killing me, bro. How the fuck now I got what? Now Dinah's gonna want to get. You're killing me, bro. You can't be going. What the fuck? You're fucking me up right now. You're lucky she's not home right now. Huh? Bro, what are you doing? You're so selfish. And yo, are you yo, April? This April? Holy shit, what the fuck? Does dad know, like, what the fuck? She thinks it's gonna save you. She thinks it's gonna save you. Maybe it will. It can if you let it.
Yeah.
You're ready. Yeah. You better start going to church or some shit and become Christian. How come he doesn't know? Get the chance to tell me. Who do you think you're talking to? You think get the chance to tell him that? Don't talk to me that nonsense. Get the chance. So, oh. Okay, so he knows. Your mom left me a message. I wonder if that's what it's about. I thought she was fucking asking about olive oil. Jesus. Oh, yes, yeah.
But yeah, I see that you didn't answer the invitation.